Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Close Up. I'm Leah Zinder. It begins this Monday, March 7th, a week of hate. Hate for us. On more than 50 campuses across the United States, Canada and Europe, the 7th annual Israel Apartheid Week events begin as part of the so-called BDS initiative, boycott, divestment and sanctions against Israel. Apartheid, that's become a code word for racist evil. It's become a weapon for delegitimizing and demonizing Israel, especially, as Professor Gidon Shimoni has written, since it evokes the precedent of the powerful external pressure in the form of boycott and sanctions, as was applied against the apartheid regime in South Africa. Let's meet Michael Dixon. He's the Israel director of a remarkable organization called StandWithUs. We've met the representatives before. Their volunteers will be in the front lines of the battle against those who are seeking to delegitimize Israel during Israel Apartheid Week. From their modest offices in Jerusalem, with what are now tens of thousands of university students from Israel and around the world, StandWithUs operates a complex and efficient mechanism for answering Israel's attackers. In his Jerusalem office earlier today, Michael Dixon told me StandWithUs is well prepared for Israeli Apartheid Week.
We believe that linking Israel with apartheid is not only false, it's insulting to those who fought against the real apartheid in South Africa. We create materials that are clear and well researched that can help students understand why the comparison between apartheid and Israel is so untrue, and also help them to understand that if there is apartheid in the world, it's happening in the Arab world, where radical regimes that are now crumbling have practiced gender apartheid, sexual apartheid, apartheid against their own citizens.
Now, Michael, of course I know that you're doing a tremendously important job. Nevertheless, the campaign to delegitimize Israel appears to be gaining momentum. Do you feel that you're fighting a losing battle?
I don't think we're fighting a losing battle. I think this is a battle that we can and must win. And I think we win it by not engaging with those who seek to defame Israel, but engaging with people in the middle who don't necessarily know or care much about Israel, but what they will hear is about Israel's positive contributions to the world, Israel's diverse population, Israel's democracy and freedoms, and Israel's struggle for peace in the most difficult circumstances. And at the same time, as well as addressing all of these positive concerns, we're going to tackle the issues head on. If somebody wants to spread a lie or a smear about Israel, we'll be there to counter it.
Now, we've seen, of course, in all the upheavals throughout the Arab world, the enormous role played by the social media, by Facebook and Twitter and all of those. Now, as young people, as students who are, of course, very well versed in those forms of communication, tell us how you used them to further your cause.
We have an internet task force that seeks to lead people and help them share information about Israel online. People now have so much influence at the tip of their fingers. They can influence thousands of people by sharing an image or a video on Facebook, for instance. So we lead people, we give them information, we give them tweets they can put out on Twitter, we give them articles, news, images and video that they can share on their social networks to make a positive difference to their sphere of influence on a social network.
And now we're going to hear from someone who's been down in the trenches, a student who has experienced Israeli Apartheid Week at first hand as a volunteer for StandWithUs. We're going to hear from Jonathan. He asked us not to use his full name for security reasons. He was one of 6 students who toured campuses on the west coast of the US as part of a program called Israeli Soldiers Speak Out.
Well, it was very difficult for me, and it was a big shock when I began going around to the different universities and I realized that most people just don't know what's going on. They're not familiar with the ground, with what's going on the ground. They're not familiar with the facts and of being in Israel. Most of them have never been, and what they see, such as during Apartheid Week, are pictures, very difficult pictures of the difficult situation in Gaza, in the West Bank, and the impression that they get of the situation is from those pictures. And we were faced with a lot of people that just simply didn't know. And that was what our job was, to present a story and to tell them what it was like for us as Israeli soldiers, as human beings, to serve, what it's like to be in the Israeli army and the different difficulties that we faced and how we dealt with them, and to show them that we are human beings and we try to deal with the problems as best as we can, and that what they see in the media in the United States, unfortunately, isn't the complete story. So we tried to give them a little glimpse from what it's like from here, from our side.
But for now, staying with life in Israel itself, and I'd like to turn to our Haifa studio to join a volunteer for StandWithUs, who is going to join us now, Rania Fadel. Thank you very much for being here, Rania. Rania, you are a student and you're a member of Israel's Arab community. Why did you decide to volunteer for Stand With Us?
Why? Because, first of all, it's my country. It's very normal and natural to join Stand With Us and to defend my country and to represent the best in the best way the reality of my country.
It's interesting and heartwarming, if I may say so, that you do say that Israel is your country, because, as you know, that is not a feeling that is shared by all of the Israel's Arab community. You say you feel a part of Israel in your everyday life, and as a student, you feel like an Israeli.
Okay, Israel is democracy. Everybody can tell what he feels and what he thinks, and I think that it's the good point in Israel that I can tell that I belong to Israel, and another Arabian can tell that he doesn't belong. I don't think that it's a bad point.
Okay, and what do you say when, as a volunteer for Stand With Us, people say to you, is Israel an apartheid society, as an apartheid country?
Well, it's first of all, everybody that tells that Israel is apartheid, it's one of two cases: or he is telling lie, or he really doesn't know what is apartheid, or he never were in Israel and visited Israel. I suggest to those people to come to Israel or to listen to people like me to know more about the reality in Israel. We are diverse. We are a very plural community, and we have a lot of societies that live together. So it's not true.
Okay, and whatever personal ambitions you have, professional ambitions I'm talking about, do you feel that whether it be a Supreme Court justice or a member of Knesset, do you feel that there would be any obstructions?
First of all, I'm happy that I have the right to choose if I will be or not. I don't think that in Arab countries they really have this right. So maybe in the future.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck, Rania and Adele, and thank you very much for being with us today.
You.